Thank you, Mr. President, members of the Senate. There was a poster that hung in Speaker Tom Murphy's office that I used to enjoy looking at. It was a poster of all 180 headshots of members of the Georgia General Assembly, members of the House of Representatives. The year was 1966, the year that my mother gave birth to me. I liked to look at the picture because it showed me how different my mother's world was from mine. The representatives in the pictures were all males, except for one. Who was she? And what was her story? There are a few members in the Senate who knew who she was, but in honor of Women's History Month, I had to do some research. She was Grace Towns Hamilton, the first Black female to ever serve in the Georgia General Assembly. Grace's parents were educators, and Grace spent much of her childhood at Atlanta University. After completing graduate work in Ohio, Grace returned home to teach at Clark College. Marriage took her to Memphis for a decade, but the family returned to Atlanta, where Grace worked for the Atlanta Urban League, leading the cause for improving education, healthcare, and voting rights and housing for Black communities. Following the passage of the Civil Rights Act, Grace saw an opportunity to run for the state legislature, and she won. Hence her headshot in the 1966 poster hanging in Speaker Murphy's office. She served 18 years and was the principal architect of the 1973 City of Atlanta Charter. In 1984, Grace lost her re-election campaign to a young Black activist who was one-third her age, Representative Mabel Thomas, known to us as Able Mabel. Here's where I start connecting to that story. I had the pleasure of serving with Able Mabel when I served in the House in the early 2000s, and when I returned to politics, Mabel did too. When Able Mabel says something, she tells it like it is, and you just have to listen. Representative Grace Towns Hamilton and Able Mabel Thomas, two women who broke barriers for all women of the Georgia General Assembly. Our day is coming. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the well.